audit their time, and it'll be humbling. You'll be like, whoa, like, oh, this is what I did today. Okay. And you get a little checklist of what you do. And then when you're on your computer, whatever computer you have, even if it's your phone, get Chat GPT up and just stick it on the side. So like if you have like one max sized screen, have it up at one quarter and then three quarters of what you're doing. You'll start to get creative, and it's not going to be good at first, just like anything else. But you're learning how to use the computer. It's like when you first got a computer, you're learning how to type. That's the same thing, except you're prompting. And frankly, like prompting is kind of the new programming language. Like,
Hey there, that is a recording of me about 2 years ago, actually. And it goes to show that the same as today, where it's so important that you learn how to use these. I want to talk about how I'm leveraging AI currently. So I started building different agentic workflows a long time ago, and I want to teach you guys some of that stuff. This channel is a daily upload. If you want to watch the full thing, it's on my friend Francisco's podcast. This in July of 23. But on this channel, we go through questions. We go through some of the news snippets. I'm going to start recording these the night before. It's technically the day of. This is 12:05 a.m. I go through some of the questions. So if you guys have any questions, we go through that. We go through 5 news snippets that are relevant to what I think is important when making money with AI. And then we go into AI strategy. Cool. So the theme of the video is going to be around Taskmaster and some of the things I learned by hanging out with the founder. It's crazy. So let's see. I'll jump into the questions, but I just wanted to point this out. I keep getting these comments in our school of "I wish I had your energy," and that's really nice. Thank you. It's because I have a lot of these agentic workflows that I have been using that are just second nature to me, and you just use them over and over and over again, and you start to compound on how fast you can output things. So to be honest, this week was a little bit challenging where I added 3 more long form videos, but it just requires you with that constraint to be better because it's totally possible. And I'm laying out the case of building a media business, a AI education slash community company, and a SaaS, 3 in public, and you can see it every day, and it's going to be wild. So let's go into the news side of things. So, sorry, the questions. That's right. Can you use theme that is dark? Now, I can use it at night. Everyone's asking for this PRD, and we're going to talk about that. Thinking about the school, I said I'd leave it open. This actually brings up a really good idea. When you're making a product, the pricing is all experimental. You just make something up that you think is far less than the value you're providing. I get a lot of questions around pricing, and that's how I do it. You test something, I immediately know that I'm delivering at least 10 times the value that I'm charging for. But I also recognize that as I scale that, the effort, I'm continuing to ramp up the value, that the price will be 3 to 5x what it is now. And so as soon as I start delivering more beyond the daily calls and all the things that I'm really pushing to systemize, then I'll ramp that up like crazy, and it will be more equal. It won't be so crazy skewed. So this guy says, yes, you wouldn't. So wouldn't Taskmaster instruction be more beneficial to put in the global rules since all projects would be using it? On simple projects, of course. Da, 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 da. What is Raycast? What is this Doc Rocker? How do we get it? Yeah, so he's talking about the Taskmaster tool, and the whole thing is it's a product manager for your agents to keep them on track. And having been a product manager for 6 years, and then having been a designer, having gone to Y Combinator and pitching the founder of Gmail and doing all of these things, pitching on stage, raising venture capital, raising angel round, not VC, angel, but like doing all these things, you learn like how to build products, obviously. And you learn what's a waste of time and what's not a waste of time. And Taskmaster is not a waste of time because it emulates the thing that you do if you're a really good product manager, which is stay on track, stay on track, stay on track. If you have a new thing, weave it in, find where it lands in the priority, the complexity, and the dependency structure. And so it's really important that you like stay on track, and it just blows it out of the water. I've been spending a bunch of time, like I said, with the founder, and I can't be happier. So when it comes to the time wasting stuff, like worrying about these little details, I have a config that just runs it in a global MCP. So it's going to run on everything. And then I have specific things within projects. Like if I have a mono repo, I'm going to treat it differently. And if you want to learn more, you can obviously join the school. Doc Rocker, cool. These are all leads. These are all people that I will be able to talk to via email in exchange for the PRD and the Doc Rocker that I use. And it's like a little piece of gold. Cool. So that's the questions on this channel. Let's go to the other channel. Can you share the best AI YouTube channels and X accounts? Yeah, sure. The on the YouTube ones, go check out Cole Marin. I'm actually going to be building a automation that goes and finds all the content that I like, transcribes it, and then pulls out a couple of the bullets. Because I find if you have limited time, which is me, because I'm trying to leverage every minute per unit of work time, I don't have time to go and watch an OpenAI developer conference for like an hour because it's just a waste of time. Like I could just go and get like the two. There's literally like two sentences that matter in any of those. And same thing with a lot of the YouTube channels, where as of someone who's making content, there are similar to chapter books. When you read a book and it's like ego is the enemy. Okay, great. That's awesome. The cheat code to that, if you want to just drill through a book, having read like hundreds and hundreds of books, is you just open the chapter book because this is what the publisher told the author to write the summary of that entire chapter on the last page. So if you want to get the juice of the book, the spark notes, then you just read the last chapter of every single page. And I'm going to tie this back into the YouTube channels. The same thing goes for if you like the rest of it's basically just fluff and story where it's like, oh, this guy had ego, he messed up, that's why he's the enemy. Here's this baseball player, here's this, that, here's this, that, here's 15 examples, and then you have 15 chapters. With YouTube videos, having made a bunch of them, I try to go the opposite direction. It's like, how do you just like spike the value and then keep it going? And then now I'm trying to chop things that aren't valuable. So the ones that I find valuable are really like I mentioned the guy Cole Marin. I think he's got good stuff because it's very tactical. It's very technical. On the marketing side, Greg Eisenberg is a channel that I follow. And I'd say like it's 70-30 on value to fluff. And you guys should call me out. Call me when I'm a fluffer. I see it. When I get bad ratings, that's fluff, right? So really, those are the only two I can think of because I've watched so much YouTube in previous years, and it's a lot of like edutainment. So, my first million, it is maybe 1 out of the 10 episodes I'll find a lot of value in, but the rest is like, oh, I just it's background noise, and I don't do background noise. With X accounts, just go to my Twitter and view my lists. Cool. Let's jump into strategy. This is what I'm excited about. So let's go back to here. Oh, we're not doing strategy yet. Sheesh. We're doing some news. So this is just a call out. Gemini 2.5 Pro Max is 5 cents per request. That is nothing. Like if you use it for a long time, you'd spend $5. And this thing is ridiculous. It unleashes the productivity and they should be paying me. It's nuts. It's the goat on every level. It's better than every model out there. OpenAI is roasted. They're leaning into this pivot around how like the personality is good and like it's real friendly. It's got terse responses, but they're not talking about how the intelligence of the frontier models coming and they might be like trying to psyop us into thinking that they have got this next big thing. But I think they're roasted because Gemini and Google have a cache machine. They have the data science team and the investment in the science, and they have the hardware. They have their own TPUs, and that's going to be a big deal. I was doing some exploration on image gen because my whole focus is leverage on code and media, and it's still not quite there. Where I was trying to take these JSON outputs and make it so I could make a brand guide around a type. So I was going into like view stats. I'm like, oh, who's got a nice looking thing? And I'll look at that guy, like Greg Eisenberg. Let's look at his. I'll go to his channel. I'll pull up a thumbo, and I'll just click it. And then what I do is you grab this, copy, right, dump it into chat, and then hit create an image. You can just type that. You don't have to click it. And then I'll do this. So create a JSON profile. This JSON profile should be da 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 da. When you see a block of text like this, if you took a screenshot of this, get this app called Shotter. So Shotter does OCR in one click without even going like making a screenshot. It'll just do the OCR. And there's a Windows version of it, and I totally forget what it's called. I put it in the school. I just Google up like Shotter for Windows, but that'll help you with saving and stealing prompts. So what you could do is, if I find it, where did it go? Yeah, here, the split. If you want split screens, by the way, get Brave because it's the same thing as what you have with Arc, and Brave's better. But then I would just go like that. I'd screenshot it, and then boom, it's on the timeline or on the clipboard. Pretty helpful. It's close, not perfect though. Like if I made this, then I think I have these outputs in here. Always look at your outputs and then record them. That's how you're gonna know if they're good. Same thing goes with texts. So I have these, and I have these like different versions of this for the website that we're putting out. But there's the original, and I didn't even put the recreate because it was so bad. But what I like to do when I'm doing image exploration is you jump into Pinterest. Pinterest is the goat for this kind of thing. And you just start pinning stuff to a board, and then you'll get your style. So what I'm doing here is I'm training this thing just so it'll give me a bunch of examples of this like happy kind of like 90s-ish vibe, like Miami Vice retro thing. So like everything is in this style, and then I'll use this as training for all the different assets that I create. So Vibe with AI is the company that I am operating. And it's got the community, but it's also going to have a lot more. So training it and getting a cool look, brand's going to matter a lot. You need distribution, you need brand. So it's not quite there, but it is close. So I'm excited about that. On to the next. I was going to talk about this semantic leak and security scan thing. So a lot of noobs, if I went to GitHub and I typed in open AI, let's do open underscore AI underscore key equals open. Boom. Let's see if that is that. I don't think that's the param. I think it's just this. What I'm doing is I'm finding someone's environment variable that left it in there, and hopefully no one's in here. But I found a bunch of Anthropic ones the other day. It just means someone that committed this that didn't know what they were doing. And you can then go to a website, and we're gonna go to the map website. But yeah, that's how you basically like quickly scan and make sure a site is not leaking anything. So that's cool. And onto the strategy. Let's jump in. So in here, I'm having a lot of problems with school, and I like it because it handles payments and whatnot. But I'm not just doing a school. I'm not a school bro. I am building a real like company off the back of AI education. And so while it is great that you can have like payments and stuff in here, and people are joining now, if they think this offer is going to be great, it's going to be bananas when they see what I'm building, which is just an extension of it for now. So like long term, it wouldn't matter if you join right now because you just get moved over and the offer gets better. But I've just run into a lot of things. Like I can't exfiltrate the data to do things with it. I can't get their CRM built out. I can't do like follow on requests to like really take care of community members in an automated fashion that's personalized, that has HITL, so I can like see the touch points. But in order to hit the scale that I want and provide the quality of service that I want to all the members so that they get better, so that ultimately we can all get better, because it's like a shared knowledge pool, I need to go custom. And so a lot of people would hear that and be like, oh, classic dev. Well, guess what? You can do a lot more now. So what I'm doing is I leveraged my knowledge from Taskmaster and just having built a lot of stuff and having talked to the founder to understand how he uses it. And if you sit with him, he's the best person on the planet with this product, right? And so what I've done is I rolled my own membership site, and let's see, this is 5.5 hours in Waka today. Let's see how many hours we had on this code base. And a lot of it was sitting with one of our members because he just landed a big contract and I was helping him. Okay, we got 32 hours of coding over the last 7 days. It's not very much. But I've been busy. So if I go, let's see, I vibe with AI. I had it, so I spent 5 hours on it. I spent an hour on it last night. So I don't think I spent that long. 6 hours? Well, anyways, it was pretty much me just pushing what's possible with Taskmaster. So I want to talk about some of the best practices. What this will do, like the why behind this, I kind of explained, where it's like I can't do PSEO, I can't properly position the product in a way that's premium, in a way that shows that it's not just this thing that happens to live on school. It's not just a school community. I'm not just a school bro. but it's something bigger than that. It can show a roadmap. It will lead back to school because school's great for now, but it lets me expand. So I was like, okay, I need to add in webhooks for payments. I need to add in the memberships. I need to add in a place for all the folks that are dropping the comments on YouTube so that they can go and learn about it rather than just like pasting something in. I mean, there's a tactic to this. It's like if I have 200 comments, that's 200 chances to make a contact point with somebody. And beyond just like the idea of making a couple bucks off of that person, it's like now they're in my ecosystem. Now I can talk to them because I live in a tech desert. It's like that's really a big why behind the community is like I want to bring Silicon Valley to the internet and I want to provide a place for all the smart people working on this stuff to basically chat. So that's what's serving. So we have like anonymous login, meaning when they go and they land on the website, let's use cursor directory as an example. So if we go to cursor directory, go back to the homepage, you'll see that you have like a bunch of prompts on here. But I was able to basically replicate all of this and then add in what's called anonymous sign-on, which is when they go to copy this, instead of it immediately copying to clipboard, it's going to pop up with the call to action where it basically sells them, it explains to them like the value of actually clicking the continue with Google button because it will not only save the prompt to their account, which they don't really care. It's on their clipboard regardless, and they don't have to sign up. But one click to then have it saved to their account. And then when inevitably this freebie gets massaged, when I update it because new model comes out, I'm constantly tweaking, then they get an email saying, boom, hey, this thing's updated. By having that value just like thrown out there, I think that's enough of a reason. And then also when we just have new products. So there's gonna be a lot of free products on this page. And then the aesthetic that we're going for, which is not finished, but I'm trying to finish by tomorrow, is this kind of look. So if we go to Pool Suite, it's like very old school and it kind of follows the aesthetic of what I was talking about earlier, where it's like it's old but it's new and it looks cool. So that's what we're going after is something like this, where it's like, ooh, a desktop plays like a song. It's kind of cool. But I'll have like a little bar down here that has music playing, and then it'll be just a 100% view width, view height limited thing. It's like everything's just right on here. And then we're going to have a members directory. So I yanked all the data manually out of school. And then I'm beefing out the profiles. So you're either a coder or a marketer or both, because that's who we service in our community. And then a biography about the person. And then I'm going to be pulling more information out about each of the community members on like what they're trying to learn, what they've done. So we have the directory because it makes it awesome when you can connect people and they can actually like see the information very clearly. And then we can like start to add those profiles with other things like their socials if they want to have them on there. But it allows people not only that are in it to more easily see who's in the group. So it's like sitting there, and if you've used school, you have to like squint, but like providing more of like a premium experience, which I'm really excited about. And all this was just possible by 5 hours of Taskmaster, and it probably would have taken two had I not tried to film it and then realized that I shouldn't vibe code this thing. I should actually like take the time. Um, but it follows a standard path or a pattern that I always use, which will be a services and methods pattern, and then I'll have like the queries and mutations in here, and then my types. So you can see like the structure of the data is really simple. It's like you have prompt types, you have the prompts. So a prompt type would be, is this XML? Is this markdown? Like what's the flavor? And then that has particular syntax highlighting, which is nice. And then user roles. So we'll have RBAC, which is required because I'm going to be able to log in and then have a dashboard. And I can see the status of the members, when the members joined, like when's their anniversary, like all these things that I want that I can't get on the current provider. And then user saved prompts. So this will be stored as well. Obviously, for when they do save those things, they get an update and they get pinged with a PG trigger that fires an email. You have the users, which is created at email ID is member with Boolean updated at the other users. So it's like you have free, you have paid, and then you have admin. Admin can do CRUD on anything, right? And then update things about the member. And I probably won't do anything like that because I'm going to be have to keep in sync with what's going on. So I need to figure that part out with school, and I'm probably going to use a browser agent to get that information out with a cookie. And how that would work is it's basically like okay, it's going to have to act like it's me. I'm going to grab something out of, ooh, that's cool. I'm going to grab something out of my inspector that then I pass into the agent so it can navigate like me on the front end, on the client, and then go and find the information that I need. It's going to be jank, but it's the best way I can think of it. If you can think of the better way, let me know. But that's what I'm thinking right now. And yeah, so it has RBAC. It'll have webhooks for payments. It'll have the best prompts that I have on the homepage just up front. And then I'm trying to think of other things. Yeah, just basically like explains the community and the events that we're doing. We also have like a really active Discord where we have guests on, so it's nice to be able to point potential future guests to it. And it's not like, hey, join my like school community. It's hey, we are a standalone brand, and we're here for a good time, and we're here for a while. Let's push the limits. So I've just been thinking a lot about that. About like, I watched this really awesome Gary V video, and he's made really good calls, regardless of whether or not you think he's cringe. It's like technology is undefeated, and a big problem that we're trying to solve here is like this fire hose because a lot of people they just can't keep up with what's going on. And since I do this full time, where it's AI services, SaaS, community, I have to know what's going on. So it's acting as a filter for that. But yeah, very excited about it. And I think that's it for now. I think that's most of the video. I will be adding like this roadmap of the content that's coming out. No one likes looking at spreadsheets, right? So definitely need to um, get something better there. But yeah, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you over on the main channel, which is what I'm going to record next, which is the three biggest things that I learned when using Taskmaster. Because there's just stuff that's not in the docs because it's so fresh and new that's just being missed out on. And I think people would really like that content. So go like the video. It's right here. I'll wait for you. 1, 2, 3. Did you like it? Cool. All right. See you tomorrow.